Hello, my name is Amanda Sargent and I'm a nutritional therapist at Happier You Nutrition. And this is the fourth of 6 sessions of the Community Health Project, Zest4health, the objective of which is to support you and to help you get your zest for life back. I would like to help and encourage you to improve your health, to increase your energy levels, to feel good and maybe lose a few pounds. Each session should be no more than 15 minutes, so a very warm welcome to you. This session we are focusing on how to put together a balanced plate meal and how this supports good energy levels and general well-being. We'll be looking at the 3 sections: Eat for Health, so how a balanced plate can support your energy and your health, and what are the healthy proteins, carbohydrates and fats to include. We look at Habits for Health, where we have tips how to assemble a nutrient-rich meal, which is simple and tasty. And finally, in Cook for Health, we have 2 recipes to look at. There are many different ways to present the balanced plate. If you search on Google, you will find dozens of different ways to illustrate this. This picture is a good representation of the proportions we are aiming for, and I will say more about how we can achieve this in a very practical and simple way, without measuring or weighing anything. Eating balanced meals, which include good quality macronutrients, that includes protein, fats and complex carbs, ensures that we have a steady supply of nutrients that we need to keep our energy levels up. You may now recognise this curve, and it reminds us of the importance of balance. We want to achieve the green line, as this is when we have slowed down the amount of sugar which goes into our blood, as this is what will give us more energy and less cravings. It is when we have the orange spikes that we have cravings and energy dips. And this can be stopped by eating the balanced plate, as the proteins, fibre and healthy fats all slow down the digestion in the stomach. And this will give us our goal of flattening the curve. To achieve this balance, we do need to understand something about portion sizes. But don't worry, there's no weighing or calorie counting involved. But first we need to look at the size of our plates. You may be surprised to learn that the size of our dinner plates has increased over the last 20 to 30 years. Current dinner plates are generally 11 to 12 inches, but they did used to be only about 7 to 9 inches. In the US, it is common for plates to be 13 inches now. I suggest to use a dinner plate that's no more than 11 inches. Using a smaller plate size is reported to leave you feeling more satisfied, even when the food quantity stays the same. Notice here the optical illusion. The black circle on the right does look bigger, but in fact they are both the same, and this makes the case for the smaller circle. A helpful guideline around portions is to balance your plate with 1/4 protein, 1/4 starchy carbs, and half a plate of non-starchy veg and 1/4 with starchy carbohydrates. This is a visual and approximate measure which can work well. However, when cooking integrated dishes such as stews and soups, it can be more difficult to visually assess the ratios. The balanced portions make a good starting place, and you can adjust according to your lifestyle. For example, on a high exercise day, you may need more fuel, and then you would increase your starchy carb portion. On other days, you may leave out the starchy carbs and replace them with vegetables. And this is a very easy switch to make and can really help provide a greater balancing effect. So here are some substitutes that many people really enjoy. So for rice and couscous, you could have cauliflower rice. For mashed potato, you could try mashed cauliflower, butternut, butter bean or celeriac, or you could mix. For roast potatoes, you could have roast butternut, or indeed sweet potato. Instead of spaghetti, you could try courgette, and instead of a lasagna sheet, try some sliced aubergine. A large mushroom works well as a bread roll. And finally, how about using a large lettuce leaf instead of a wrap? An alternative approach for estimating the relative amounts of each macronutrient is using our own hands. This works well because it takes account of people with different statures. For example, a 6-foot man will have larger hands than a 5-foot woman. This guideline suggests that a protein portion is approximately the size of your palm, and that the starchy carbohydrate portion is the size of your fist. Then you'll have 2 handfuls of veggies and just a thumb's worth of fat. Now let's have a closer look at each of the components of the balanced plate, including examples. So remember, proteins are digested and broken down into amino acids, and these are referred to the building blocks of our body. So animal proteins include dairy, eggs, meat, poultry, and fish. And then vegetarian protein, tofu, nuts and seeds, and beans and legumes. And then healthy fats to include, because good quality fats are important for many processes in our bodies and are good for hormones and healthy skin, for example. So we could have some cold pressed oil to drizzle over your food. And a great fat to use here is extra virgin olive oil. Salmon contains good fats. Coconut oil is great for cooking. And avocados also contain good fats. For balanced energy, choose whole grains over white refined carbohydrates. And examples here are potatoes, bread, preferably whole grain, grains, and then pasta and rice, again preferably whole grain, and sweet potatoes. Remember, you can always replace the starchy carbohydrate portion with non-starchy carbohydrates, which have a greater balancing effect. Here you could use a salad, courgette, butternut squash. You could stuff an aubergine, or again use the large mushroom instead of toast, or any extra colourful veg is always a good option. So let's look at the 5 reasons to eat a balanced plate meal. Firstly, it'll support your stable energy levels in the day. You'll ensure your meals are nutrient-rich, especially when including rainbow foods. The higher fibre meals will keep you fuller for longer, and it encourages you to eat a wider variety of foods and therefore get more nutrients. And eating like this will help to support a stable weight. So let's have a look at balanced meals, which include the macronutrients, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and which are popular family meals. Tray bakes. We all love a tray bake, where the entire meal is cooked in one dish. The example here shows chicken cooked with rainbow veg, served with a drizzle of olive oil, some freshly squeezed lemon, some herbs and seasoning. And you could do this with fish, or a vegan option would be some fresh tofu cubed. A stir fry is another one-pan dish cooking experience, which includes a range of veg. Example here is beef and broccoli stir fry. And here we have a vegan salad, which has nuts and pomegranate seeds. And the best part about all of these simple assembly meals is that you don't need a recipe. Just pick out what you have in the fridge and store cupboard and get creative, making sure that you've got the protein, some fat, the carbohydrates, and your vegetables. So let's have a look at 2 dishes. Here we have a mixed bean chili, which is a popular one-pan family recipe. So here, if you don't have the ingredients, you can swap. So if you don't have coconut oil, try with olive oil. And if you don't like mushrooms, add a different vegetable. So for all of it, you can have the bases, but just put in the ingredients you like. And again, with the ginger chicken, you can swap the coconut oil for olive oil. And if you don't like honey, that's fine. You could even try with fish instead of chicken. But the principles are the same, to get the same quantity of protein and carbohydrates and fruit and vegetables and fats each day. So what will you do differently this week that could help to move your health forward? Can you balance your plates? Can you start within the next few days? So it's planning makes all the difference, so try to plan ahead. And how can you adjust your family favourites so that they are more balanced? For example, if you're having spaghetti bolognese, could you serve it with a side salad or with some courgette noodles? And if you're having cottage pie, could you change the mash to include some cauliflower or some sweet potato, perhaps? And then if it's fish and chips, could you increase your servings of the peas and salad and have a slightly smaller portion of chips? And can you get the children involved? Because that's always fun. So we have a meal planner to get you started. And the meal planning can really help. It means you have always got the healthy ingredients you need. If you can set aside some time each week to work out the meals for the next week, plus the ingredients needed, it makes it all much easier and stops life from getting in the way. And this in turn helps to stop you from making an unhealthy choice because your fridge is empty. So here's the meal planner. So next week we'll be covering how to escape the sugar trap, and we'll have some delicious sugar-free recipes to try. So have a balanced and energetic food week, and thank you very much. Goodbye.